I will always be grateful to it because it gave me, since it was direct hire recruiting, gave me a
100%.
great thing of like work ethic, how you had to talk to a candidate, you're changing their life, you need to ask the next question. But it was just, it was weird. Yeah.
It was a sweatshop.
They would come in the morning for morning meetings and say, and the owner would say, I only slept 3 hours last night. What about you guys? It was like, I only slept 2. And I thought, again, another thing I filed away, maybe not the way I'd want to be a boss.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Psst, healthcare pros, word's out, and it's too good to keep quiet. Look, LinkedIn is revolutionizing job hunting, making it possible to search by specialty, shift preference, and salary. Endless scrolling is out. Whether it's a mental health therapist or dental hygienist, finding the perfect role is faster and easier than ever. Head to linkedin.com/healthcare and start your search today.
Hey, this is William Tincup and Ryan Leary, and you're listening to Inside the C-Suite. This is our executive interview podcast, and so what we do is we get people that are in the C-Suite, and we talk to them, interview them, and kind of find out not only what they're doing currently, but what they've kind of their journey, how they got there. Because Ryan and I are kind of curious beings about how people get to a place, and it's never what you think. I think we grew up with this idea, you go to Exeter, Princeton, Harvard, blah, blah, blah. None of that, I mean, we haven't had that happen. I'm sure that does happen, but we haven't had that happen so far on the show. So, Janet, would you do us a favor? First of all, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your job, your current position.
So I'm Janet Elkin. I'm CEO of IMN Enterprises, which is comprised of 3 different divisions and 2 different companies that I bought. We're in healthcare staffing. We place physicians, nurse practitioners, dentists, and now allied health professionals as well, like physical, occupational, and speech therapy. So we run the gamut.
And
all the people that scare me.
Go ahead.
I'll say all the people that scare me.
Why?
I saw the look you gave me when you said dentist. I saw the look. She's a dentist.
Which one did you start and which ones did you acquire? Just out of curiosity.
Well, I acquired the 2 companies, one that's anesthesia. Anesthesiologist. That's very big right now. And
yes,
CRNAs. And then the one that does Icon Medical Network, which does physicians and nurse practitioners and physician assistants. And then we started on our own MedAdventures, which is allied health professionals, something that I did for many, many years and thought, there's not enough going on. I'm just going to start another division.
Totally
You
understand.
were bored.
Yeah.
Bored. Yeah, too much free time.
So, Janet, if I got that right, if I did the timeline, you started with nursing staffing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is huge in and of itself. You could have stopped there, and it's huge.
True, and enough stories to tell at many cocktail parties for the rest of my life.
Now, did you do traveling nurses?
Traveling,
wow.
local. I had other careers before this, but when I started in staffing, I would drive to a supermarket at 10 o'clock at night to meet a nurse's ex-mother-in-law to give her the check for the nurse.
Yep.
Because sometimes our nurses they're wonderful people, but they're not always the best at managing their money. So
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Wow.
A lot of stories there. Of stories there. So, Ryan, you want to go backwards? You got any questions about where we are currently?
Yeah, no, let's rewind a bit and go back in time. And I'm sure you grew up thinking you wanted to run staffing and hire nurses and find nurses 100%. For a living. So, where did this journey start? And kind of maybe walk us through the beginning. And a lot of people that watch this show and that listen to this show, they're on their own journey. So they may not be in staffing, they may be in staffing, but they're on their own journey to rise somewhere, whether it's in their own firm that they're beginning or in a corporate somewhere out there in the big world. So give us a little insight to what got you motivated to get started. Was this always something you knew you wanted to do?
Really, it wasn't healthcare. It was just I wanted to do something extraordinary. I grew up in the Bronx in a very middle class background with strong work ethic from my parents. And it's interesting because when I was a teenager, I did magic for kids' birthday parties. And one of the folks that I got to know really well was David Copperfield. He was just a nice
Oh,
little boy from New Jersey.
just
But
random.
as I
Wow.
always say, he became like a multi-billionaire and I went into staffing.
Look,
The
could
the road
have.
less traveled.
Yeah, my mother always told me you could have gone anywhere, but you chose Temple University. You
100%.
chose staffing.
100%.
I'm on
You
the
Chose
chose
same page.
staffing.
Same
Yeah.
No,
page.
I got to get back to the birthdays and like the balloons. At no point were we in a clown uniform, correct?
No, oh God, no. No, but I
Okay,
was
just want
in
to make
hot
sure.
pants and tights and yeah. But I was 15, so
Okay,
probably a little odd, but
That works.
whatever.
there's rules against that now, Janet.
So how do you get the rabbit out of the hat? That's what I want to know. I mean, like becoming
Uh,
CEO and acquiring companies, totally cool. How'd you get
no,
the rabbit out of the
magicians
hat?
never reveal. They don't
No,
reveal.
you're
Can't
100%
tell.
right. Because here's the thing. There's only like
Can't tell.
7 principles in magic. Once you know how a trick is done,
Yeah,
it's just no big deal, really.
right.
It's not. So
But they don't tell, right? That this is one of the
shouldn't
bits.
tell.
YouTube
Shouldn't tell.
tells.
Yeah,
YouTube tells.
yeah, but they're not
You
they're
don't
frowned
know.
upon.
My
Yeah,
husband and I have been married now for many years, and when we were dating, he said, at what point will you tell me how the tricks are done? I'm like, when we get married, because we dated forever. Then we got married, and he's like, not long enough. 5 years, 10 years, 18 years, he's still waiting. But it's really better not to know. And you want to
all
keep
right.
a little magic about your life
Yeah.
anyway. So
100%. 100%.
100%.
What did you want to be when? I know, 'cause that 15-year-old is a great example. What did you want to be when you were 15? What was the bit?
I wanted to be a psychologist, which is interesting
Wow,
because that is actually now part of my job, although not in my job
100%.
description, right? Definitely.
Managing people, managing candidates.
Yeah.
That's all psychology. Oh, good God.
Yeah, it
Uh,
is.
any particular flavor of psychology, like family or this or that?
Child psychology, I think.
Wow.
And then what happened was, it was funny. I went to college. I had
Hmm.
worked, temp work you do over the summer, right? At
Right.
at Warner Brothers. And I was like, business, this is cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And so kind of morphed into that, took a couple communication classes and ended up going that route. But I will say the psychology degree did serve me well.
100%. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness, 100%.
Yeah.
That's a degree that it carries forth.
I think so.
You'll yeah. Oh yeah. That's a degree you'll always use.
That's like everybody always, people that say have a philosophy degree or an art degree. Those are the
Hmm.
most interesting people. And I feel like they go much further in life
Yeah.
than most people that I know that have a business degree or an engineering degree.
Well, keep
Opportunities are
yourself
very different.
open, right?
That's
Yeah.
I
right.
mean, you should
Yeah.
be. Yeah.
What's the
Yeah.
hard sciences and soft sciences? It's just again the humanities. Give me a person that's had a humanities degree anytime, because you can teach them all the other stuff, but you can't teach them to be curious and understand
Right.
critique and things like that. So,
I agree.
what was so first of all, where'd you go to school, if you don't mind?
Syracuse University, home of the
Great.
Orange Men. Not doing
Hey,
so great right now, but
yeah, no. But one of the best communications programs in the country.
I had a dual degree. I was in Newhouse School of Communications
Yeah,
and in the psychology
yeah.
at Arts and Sciences. So it was a lot of fun.
Oh my goodness. A lot of the people that go to ESPN come from Syracuse. That's where they pluck a lot of the talent from. So good for you. Great
Well,
school.
and I actually went into advertising then for many years after that.
Oh, God bless you. Do tell, because I have a little bit of that background myself. So what was the first gig after college, post college?
Well, for 2 months, because this was a long time ago when it was really hard for a woman when you got out of college. It was like,
Oh yeah,
be a secretary. I'm like, no, I'm not going to. I have this dual
Yeah.
degree,
yeah.
graduated with
Not
honors. Seriously,
gonna do it.
there's anything wrong with that. And so I worked while I was looking for something for 2 months as a receptionist at this ad agency. And the man who owned it was like the worst person ever. He screamed at
Yes.
people all day long. That's all he did. And I said to
Hey,
myself, one day, if I ever can be in a position, I'm not going to sit there and it doesn't give you
no,
respect,
no, not
Right.
at
And then
all.
I worked for Gray Advertising, a large firm in New York. And the funny thing is,
I know
most of my
Gray.
career in advertising was in motion picture advertising. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh my goodness, that's fun.
Oh.
But did you client services or creative services?
Oh no, client services.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
very creative. So
I'm with
Well,
you.
with the comp degree, some of the comp people can do copywriting. They can do that
yeah.
piece of creative, right? But yeah, not straight creative. So you work for Gray. That's fantastic.
hmm
Did you go on to another ad agency after that?
No, then I went to Paramount Pictures. And
Because you
I
were
actually went
working.
through personnel. That like never happens anymore. And that was so much
No,
fun. You'd be sitting in your office and you get a thing. There's going to be a screening in 10 minutes.
well, that's fantastic. What was the role? What was the role at Paramount?
I was managing the West Coast for Paramount. Like
Right,
I was a liaison between the people that booked the movies, the exhibitors, and
right.
like TV and radio stations, and try to convince people that this next movie was going to be the Friday the
Best
13th Part 15 was the best.
best movie ever. I can't wait to tell you about
Definitely
this
not.
movie. This is the best movie ever. Well, it's sales on some level, and you've got to
Right?
be able to take a
Exactly.
product, regardless of what the product is, and then be able to
Yeah.
shine it up a bit and get people excited about it.
Yeah. I think so.
Sounds like a candidate.
Sounds like you're selling nurses already. You just didn't know
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Eerily similar.
when did you move on into the world of staffing? What kind of drove you here?
Well, so it was kind of like this, right? So I then owned a company doing jewelry fundraisers at hospitals. And what was cool, and then I lost it because I went through a horrible divorce. Are they ever good? And what
Yeah,
was cool
100%.
about that was that you go into these hospitals and you get to see, you gave percentages back to like Women's Auxiliary, what it
Hmm.
did for them. And I fell in love with healthcare. And I was like, you know what? Friday the 13th, part whatever is fun. I actually
Yeah.
worked on some great films, but I want to do something where I feel like even if it's really indirect, I'm helping people. I mean, why not, right? At the end of the day. And so
Well,
I've been in healthcare. So after that, went through the divorce and
right.
started over in, I heard that I was good talking to people. So I became a recruiter for a sweatshop, but it was good doing direct hire recruiting and more from there.
So you work with Paramount real quick. When you were pitching people, did you built a network? Yeah. So you were building. So when you built that other business,
Mm-hmm.
you had a good network of people you could pull from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. That tracks for me. Recruiter third-party staffing. Ryan and I have a kind of an ongoing debate about third-party staffing and recruiting make kind of the best recruiters. That the way that they train, the way they drop you off deep into the pool and say go, survive or don't, swim or don't.
Or waitresses in a restaurant. I mean, I've hired people
Good
from all
too.
different industries.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Can you relate to people? Do you listen? Do you care about them? You know?
Right.
Can you
Right.
be human
So
and have a conversation?
tell us a little bit
That's
about the boiler room that you were in, the first recruiting place that you were in. Tell us a little bit about it. I mean, not
we love
specifics, but
The
yeah, yeah.
sweatshop? Yeah. I
Sweatshop.
yeah.
worked there for 5 years. No. I will always be grateful to it because it gave me, since it was direct hire recruiting, gave me a
100%.
great thing of like work ethic, how you had to talk to a candidate. You're changing their life. You need to ask the next question. But it was just, it was,
It
it
was a
was
sweatshop.
weird. Yeah.
It was a sweatshop.
They
And
would
when
come in the morning for morning meetings and say, and the owner would say, I only slept 3 hours last night. What about you guys? It was like, I only slept 2. And I thought, again, another thing I filed away, maybe
like
not the way I'd want to be a boss. Just saying.
Yeah.
like yelling, not motivating, not really helping.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The
Not for me
only
anyway.
way to be an entrepreneur is to sleep 1 hour a night.
No,
That's
actually,
that's
it's
Exactly.
that's
worse
that's
than
how it is.
And
Yeah.
then be up on the treadmill. I mean, I work
Right.
like a crazy person, but you know,
that's a
you have to have some
choice.
kind of balance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a choice. The divorce was where in that timeline after you had the one company,
The
the
divorce was
before
after when
recruiter.
I owned that company
Yes,
doing the fundraisers and
right.
lost everything. I mean, I say everything. Like the kids, my daughters got to know the constables by name because they were always coming looking for money. No, really, because it was, bad, drug addict husband,
Hmm.
those kind of fun things. So,
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
but you
Yeah.
work your way back. So,
yeah. I was about to
Yeah.
say you got out of it in time. So
Yeah. So Janet, this is interesting for me because motivation. During these conversations, I always tend to focus on the motivational piece of it. How did you drag yourself to get up and move forward.
Hmm.
I'm always really interested to learn that. So when you're in this situation and your daughters are seeing all this, what drove you to then move forward? You lost your business,
Sorry.
right?
Hmm.
What
Hmm.
drove you then to move forward to start the next thing?
I had 2 children to support,
Yeah.
preteen, and I had no child support. I had
Right.
nothing. I had less than nothing. And I wasn't going to give up. Like, I could have declared bankruptcy, and I said no. I didn't think it was right to do that. I'm going to find a
Right.
way to. I'll never
Hmm.
forget the first day I, like, all of a sudden got a credit card in my name again. I go, oh my God, a real credit card.
Milestone.
So, yeah, it's that kind of thing that just propels you, I think, along the
Hmm.
way.
Yeah. I can see that. I mean, again, mother of invention, right? So you're in a situation where it's you, the kids, and nobody else. I mean, yeah, you've got extended family and stuff like that, but basically it's the
Not
three of
not
you.
in Texas. They're all in New York. So,
Right.
but I was
How'd you,
getting out of an abusive situation. So,
yeah.
if nothing else, I was going to do it for my daughters.
How'd you
So,
get to Texas, by the way?
well, with my
Because,
ex-husband, which sounds weird, we were married at the time because
right.
why would I have followed him otherwise? Yeah, he for his job, and then my daughters were 11 and 13 when
Yeah.
we separated. So I couldn't leave him. I couldn't have him move at that point. It's too hard.
Ish,
Yeah.
where in Dallas are you?
I am, well, back then I was north of LBJ, like
Yeah.
Preston and Campbell,
Yeah.
Richardson schools. So
The great
Uh,
school district.
did my
That's one of the,
kids, I had a low bar. As long as I like didn't end up in jail, they're both
no, but
CEOs in
at,
Dallas. So
at, at
Both your
the,
daughters are CEOs?
yeah,
Oh, we have a family of CEOs.
oh my
I'm really
goodness.
proud of them.
That's
Wow.
that's
What are
fantastic.
they doing? What's the bit? What are their bit?
Well, one of them is the CEO of, get this, a veterinary staffing company that we started when I was writing out a non-compete. It's huge industry. And then she took it and ran with it.
Right.
And so they're doing great. And the other one is just did a startup for something called Known Well, medical clinics that are primary care with an emphasis on obesity, because that's
Oh my
really important
goodness.
to her.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That is great. Well, first of all, we could talk about that forever, but um, when did you, so you had to write out a non-compete. Tell us a little bit about that deal, because we've had other executives tell us both positive stories and negative stories about writing out
Hmm.
non-competes. So tell us about your particular journey.
Well, I mean, look, I don't have great feelings about non-competes, but if I sign something, then, I would want someone to do the same thing like the other way around. So I was
Right.
at a company for supplemental healthcare for 13 years,
Right.
and we got bought, and the next day it was like, oh, wow, it's really different. Like, I knew it would
Yeah.
be different, but these people are all over me.
Yeah.
So we left, my executive team and I, and had a year, couldn't do really anything in human healthcare. That's how
Right.
we started the vet business. And that's how I started also a healthcare IT business, because we weren't
Right.
doing that. And it's funny, I went from 600 employees to there were 4 of us. So we would just sometimes randomly call each other during the day. It's like, my
Back to the
phone doesn't ring
basics.
anymore.
Back to the
Yeah,
basics.
back to basics.
Who's
Exactly.
going to book
Little
the
executive
flights?
suite, did no window. All of a sudden I'd hear we're evacuating the building. Why? There's a storm out there. Well, I can't see it. So it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's humbling on some level, but at the same time, that's actually you kind of remember the reason that you started something, and then you kind of get some of that fluff that was there in the middle. You kind of like you have less appetite to have that.
You're so right, because I remember placing a cook in a
Yeah.
hospital because I still wanted to keep it related to what I love, right?
Hmm.
Right.
And I was in Chicago where we placed her and got to take my picture with her. And she was so happy to have this job. And I was like, you know what? This is what grateful looks like. It's something
100%.
that everyone needs to remember.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Success can sometimes get you a buffer in between that and the stuff that why you started a company. So I can see the 4 people actually all are y'all all still together? Your management team?
We're not, because at the company we went to next, they ended up getting rid of us one by one. But
Right.
we're still in contact. They've been good
So
Right.
friends.
pragmatic about it. Just one
Yeah.
by one. Just pick and
Yeah.
choose.
Just yeah. Yeah. That's what
It
that's what
led me to
snipers
owning
do.
my own company, so it's okay,
Yes,
100%.
yes. So
100%.
let's go there. So now you've got your own firm at this point. how do we take all the lessons you've learned from previous roles and bring that into your own? Because on your own is very different. You don't
Yep.
have that support structure. So maybe share a little bit about that journey.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
Tuesday on NBC, Jimmy Fallon and Bozoma St. John host the highly anticipated new competition show.
I hired 10 creatives from all walks of life. They will be battling it out to see who can impress the world's biggest brands.
This is a huge opportunity.
This is the battle for the next big idea.
This is not play.
We're spending millions of dollars.
I'm so excited to embark on this adventure with all of you.
May the best idea win!
On Brand with Jimmy Fallon. Series premiere Tuesday on NBC.
Yeah, it was really something. I mean, I remember the day, like I had been involved in mergers and acquisitions before, but never where it was just me, right? And the day that the money flowed and went to the company that I was buying, the first one, it was like, that's one of the greatest days of my life. I was like, oh my God, it actually happened. You know, because I think, and not just women, I think anybody, but I think also for women of a certain generation, it's a little bit of like, I can't really do this. Trust me, when I had no one that would give me a loan, even with personally guaranteeing it, you learn about that kind of thing. But it worked out. And I like to think that I took the lessons that I learned and what really I thought mattered and how to treat people. And now could do that without anyone saying to me, no, they're just a number on a spreadsheet. That never really worked for me.
No. What's so we got the no screaming and no trying to outwork the other people by not sleeping, etc. What other rules, either explicit or implicit, what other rules do you have about leadership?
Being close. You know, I always say that in staffing, it's really important. In healthcare, it's really important. I think it's important in any business. We used to laugh years ago when I was with another company that undercover boss show wouldn't have really worked for me because even when I had 600 employees, I have about 100 now. You have to get to know people. When I would go to visit people back when we had offices, we're fully remote now. You don't just sit with the manager because that person in payroll, they may be the ones who really knows what's going on, and it should matter. And I've tried to subscribe to that theory.
I think I'm with you there, Jen. I think it does matter, and so thank you for doing that because I've been part of organizations where they don't do that.
You are a number.
And you are a number. I had a serial number. Now, given there's 400,000 employees, I get it. But I came from a small company into a big company. They acquired us, and I went from being Ryan to having a serial number, and I absolutely hated it. That was the first day of my that was it. I was done, and I had never wanted to go back from there. But undercover boss, I don't know about you guys, but as much as I know it's malarkey. I'll use the Biden malarkey term. I still watch it. Still watch it.
Well, it's compelling, isn't it? But
it is.
But it's not the way it should be to some degree. I mean, some of these are really good people. That's why I do the first interview when we're interviewing people and they're always, and it makes me feel that they're like, I never even talked to my CEO. And it's like, don't you want to know how I think? Doesn't it? It should matter what the strategy is. We live in a world, right, where companies are going belly up constantly. It should make a difference, I think.
It absolutely should, and it shows them that you care enough to be there, and care enough to. This is quality. I mean, this is quality assurance on steroids because you're going to do an interview with them. It could be the last interview, so you could let everyone go through it. But by getting there quicker and just saying, "Listen, I care enough that I want us to talk." You can ask me anything. You know, okay.
Why do you think people don't care? It's interesting. You have 100 people at your firm, right, across your companies. That's a lot of people to be in charge of, and you're still doing that first contact, that first interview. Why do you think? I could see myself as an employee or a potential employee coming in, not feeling worthy enough to sit in front of the CEO for an interview for a role that would not report to that CEO.
They all
Why
do.
are people afraid of that?
I mean, but it's a question of why is someone worthy? Like, I remember where I came from, okay? I'm fortunate. I've had great mentors. I've had a lot of good things happen, even with the lousy things that happen. I have a lot more experience than a lot of these people, but I don't know. It just, look, I'm not Mother Teresa, but it matters to me. I'm not, but it matters to me that they do well. You know what I mean? Like when I think back to any mistakes I've made, and as I always tell people, probably made a few today, I don't know about yet, but seriously, when I see people who are now VPs, CEOs that I mentor in the past, there's nothing cooler than that. Nothing.
Right. Yeah, right. I don't think it's that CEOs don't care. I think they do care because they know it's a game of talent. I think they just don't prioritize it in the way that Janet's talking
Good point. And they get caught up, and it's easy. I mean, I have a wonderful, strong executive team who I love.
Right.
Some of us knew each other before, some of us didn't, but I think we all feel the same way. You can get so caught up in what you're doing that you don't see what's in front of you. That's the whole thing about KPIs. What are they really showing, though? You know.
That's right. No, I think again, it's quality, it's communications, it's letting people know that they have a voice, seeing them, them understanding what drives you, what drives the company. I think it's brilliant, actually. I think it's a great way of thinking about talent because it's like, okay, listen, you're going to go through a series of interviews and it may or may not work out. However, I'm going to give you time. And I love it. 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 I love it.
What, Janet, you mentioned mentors. I'm very curious. How did you pick your mentors? What made a mentor to you?
I'd like to tell you it was carefully thought out. It really didn't work. It didn't work that way.
I was at Bob's Chop House.
I mean, it's just people that, like, I had someone who, I didn't report to him, but I worked with him when I was at Paramount Pictures, who just was like, I watched him, I listened to him, and he took an interest in me, you know, a 23-year-old kid. And then later in life, a woman, when I first went to Supplemental, who was my boss, and one of the things I just was amazed with in the beginning is that she could have taken the credit for our division that we were in. She would always give credit to me, always. She could have just taken it. I wouldn't have said anything, even if it was something I did, right? Because it's not about you taking the credit. It's always going to work out, but think about what this could do for someone else. And then, believe it or not, I have one other mentor, and he's in his 80s now, Livingston Cosberg, and he just believes in me, and that's how I rose to the CEO at my first company. He believed that I could do it and had always been there for me. So I was lucky.
You again, not Mother Teresa. Got it.
She's Mother Janet.
Yeah. Well, she technically is
everybody's
Mother
mom,
Teresa.
just so you know.
Yeah. Den leader. But the thing is you sound what I love about both moral and ethical. Like there's a right and a wrong, and so many people play in the gray. And again, to the thing about non-competes, I signed this document. I'm going to honor it. I could have gone bankrupt, probably should have gone bankrupt, but refused. But
refused to
do
do
that.
Yeah.
But refused to do it because there's I guess it's that ethics and morality that seems to be an underpinning. Where did that? If I have that right, and again, not Mother Teresa, I get it. If I have that right, where did you get that?
From my dad. I mean, my mom's pretty great too, but my dad was the kind like, if the bank gives you too much money, which happened to me once, you give it back. You do the right. I grew up watching someone who was honest to a fault, and I think it makes a difference. And now in patient care, look, there's a reason why the women on my executive team all wear this necklace that I got them. It's a mission. When we came up with the mission statement, it was like, everybody has mission statements you can't remember, okay, ever. So we got in a room, we're like, what matters? What really matters? So it's do good, do well, save lives. And if that really matters, I'm in patient care, for God's sake, then even when it hurts sometimes, still just do the right thing.
Now, and I'm assuming as you're putting people into these opportunities, that mission comes through in those people.
Oh yeah, has to.
Well, it has to, or we don't hire them. Like,
That's right.
it's funny because when you're placing like physicians in
Mm-hmm.
particular, I mean, we let clients know that that's why we have a clinical team. We have a chief clinical officer, Joanne, and then our doctor, Joe Sturdivant, who's our chief medical officer. They work in tandem. There's no reason. I mean, look, people are going to have medical malpractice things if they practice long enough. But if
Right.
there's enough things that that person shouldn't be representing us or the facility, it never gets to the client. And, it's
Right.
hard when you hire recruiters. In the beginning, they're like, but he only really has one felony. I'm like, would you want him taking care of another? No,
100%.
okay? Come on.
He only
You're
beat.
your own mother. I get it, okay?
He
So,
only hit him twice with the bat. No, it's not
right.
Yeah. Yeah. I think. Well, the thing is this is I mean, healthcare. A lot of people look at healthcare. They look at doctors, and they think everything's perfect. Like there is a perfection to medical science, and there's not. There's a lot of factors that contribute to success. Some of that gets sideways.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm an example of that. I had pneumonia in 15, got it all worked out. Was in the hospital for 2 weeks, and then they released me with the wrong antibiotics.
Oh.
It was just it was a clerical error. And I mean, I know exactly what happened. The gal that we had a great nurse. She was getting everything signed off, getting me released, and she was also getting bombarded by other patients, and she just crisscrossed the antibiotics.
You could have died. I mean,
Oh no, I almost did. I was back in the hospital 2 weeks later, and they had to crack me open and go. I had both my lungs collapsed. So yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
At 15?
No, in 2015, right?
I know. I didn't know which one you
2000.
did at first.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
That's worse.
Yeah,
You're that
no.
much older. Oh, gosh.
No,
I remember.
but-
Okay, 2015. I remember. I didn't realize.
So
sorry.
2015, this happens, and after I was back in 2 weeks and everything, fever, dehydrated, everything, because it just came back with a vengeance.
Sure, of course, yeah.
So, but Janet, I had the best healthcare service that one could ever have because they knew I could sue, right? And I told them. I mean, they kept coming by, hospital administrators, different people coming by, and like I had people running in and out of my suite. I had like the Taj Mahal suite in this hospital, and I told them very early on. I'm like, listen, I just want it done. I'm not going to sue. Give me something, I'll sign it. I don't care. I don't need money. I just need my lungs.
Yeah, I need to be healthy.
work.
Oh my God.
You can do that.
I'll take the lungs back. Thank you very much.
They canceled. They can't. I'll give them credit on it. Well, it is what it is. They canceled all bills. Like anything associated with my name didn't even go to the insurance. There was just
That's
nothing.
how sick you were, right? That
So
they
sick I
made
was.
you. Wow.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, you're placing these people, and mistakes get made. And
Well, people are human. Yes.
People are human. And I didn't blame the nurse for that thing. It's just like, hey, listen, I could have made that mistake. And
Well, the nurse honestly might have, I'm not to excuse it because it's terrible and I'm sorry that happened, but she could have been in her 60th hour of working.
Oh,
that's why people seriously use temps because no one should be working that many hours.
100%.
At least if I'm working too much, I'm not going to kill someone. So
That's right. That's right. Yeah, good point. Ryan and I, we could do 12 podcasts in a day.
Yeah. I mean, we
might
look, I might screw up the next question, Janet, and not say a word, but I can edit.
That's a high probability, by the way.
Cut that. It is a high probability. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. That's it's interesting. I love the pressure, right?
Yes.
Of having your own thing. Right. I've always been drawn to that. And I've always been there. I always say I'd rather figure out how to pay a mortgage than do a research report as well. But what I would never want is to make a decision at that moment. I'm pretty decisive on a lot of things, but a decision at that moment that could kill William.
Oh, yeah.
Although I might make that decision.
Dude, my
But
cardiothoracic surgeon was so genius. When he came in, I had this long beard, long hair, and he said, "Hey, you're gonna have to shave this area, or the OR people are gonna do it because I gotta be able to put a mask on you, this, that, and the other." I'm like, "Okay, all right." Has zero bed manner at all. I mean, like literally just very, very factual. Just like, here's the deal. I'm going to go in through the side. If that doesn't work, I'm just going to crack you open. One way or another, we're going to get that stuff out of your lungs. Now, here's the deal. I'm not going to wake you up and ask you about
it. I'm just telling you.
I'm just sitting there in the bed going, I just want it gone, dude. We're good. Whatever you got to do. Just, if you got to.
Confident, right?
Oh, super.
Yeah.
Dude,
really
I don't
important.
I don't think you can be a cardiothoracic surgeon and not be confident. Like
Exactly.
that's just not the gig.
You've got to be.
Yeah, super decisive.
Janet, this is where we go off script and we forgot that we were talking to you about your
100%.
journey.
I did have a question because I want to know the hardest position to fill right now because it's fascinating to me. All of healthcare and everything that you're dealing with. What's the hardest one to fill?
It's a tie, but I'll say Geo.
Really?
It is like there's not that many of them. They're real. Think about people getting more procedures, right? Yeah. And people that put things off. Yep. That is really hard. And then there's, I don't know if you know what a CRNA is, but it's a certified registered nurse anesthetist. It's like an anesthesiologist, but they're a nurse. Oh my
That's
gosh.
Right. I got a friend that's one. Actually, she's in Arlington, and she's a travel, like a rural.
Yeah,
so she goes
do
around.
A lot of that.
Oh
because they need them, or they can't do the surgery.
That's right. That's right. And they've got to know just as much as they're an anesthetist.
Yeah.
So basically, they've got to know everything, just like a doctor.
100%.
Very little difference other than the schooling and some of the other stuff, but they've got to know it. And
I
believe the health, the insurance on that position is high. What they have to carry, I think, is really high, if I'm not mistaken.
What we have to carry, yes.
You have to carry.
Oh, like
yeah. Shit, I didn't even think about that. You've got to carry that. Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, that's a big note. Okay. Easiest position to fill, ish.
In what we do, there's nothing that I would.
There's no easy.
There's nothing that I would say is a slam dunk in healthcare. Okay, there just isn't. I mean,
I know.
Yeah. It's insane. But luckily, I have a lot of people that are working their tails off from home because we're fully remote. Something I never thought. If you asked me 5 years ago, I would have said, no, need the energy of an office. Yeah.
But it works.
They couldn't pay you to go to an office now.
It's funny. I was on a plane recently, and this old guy laughed, like probably not that much older than I am, but in front of me, and he's saying, "These people today, they don't want to work." And I'm thinking, they don't want to work for you. Okay? We have a lot of very young people.
I think that's the title. Yeah, Janet, we get to a point in every show where like that could be the title.
That's the title.
Gonna be they don't want to work for you.
He's already marked it. On the tape, so they can remember it.
Yeah. My job here is done.
There we go. So, Janet, I've got a question about. I like to kind of get into the mind sometimes of the people that we speak with. We do them to learn, right? Yeah, okay. That could be for some people. What would younger Janet tell older Janet as she is beginning to embark on this career?
Don't reveal the magic tricks.
That's true. I think that I want you, older Janet, to remember to take what you do really seriously, but just don't take yourself so seriously.
I love that. Take what you do seriously, not yourself. That's genius. That also might be the title.
That's a T-shirt.
That's a good runner-up. Who
We've got a
thrives around
title.
you?
We've got T-shirts. What else can we get out of this?
I mean,
Merch, Ryan.
do what I can, guys. Okay.
The kids call it merch, Ryan. Come on now, you
Right,
gotta
right.
Yeah.
True,
All right.
go with
true.
the program.
Yeah.
Who thrives around you, Janet? What type of person or personality or whatever? Describe the people that thrive around you.
I think people that are excited every day. I mean, not every day, because you're going to have, when you're in staffing, you're having more people saying no than yes. But basically,
100%.
get up the next day and be like my theme for this year, which I came up with, maybe that's nothing great, is make it count. Make your time count, make the day count. And the people that are like, yeah, I'm going to do it again. I had a tough week or a tough month or maybe a tough quarter, but I can make it happen. And that are really nice to other people. And I know that sounds trite, but I mean, even within the organization.
Right.
I've worked with people that they're a nightmare to the finance people or the credentialing people, whatever, and they're great to their candidates. Everything comes home to roost. So if you're well-meaning and you care about what you do, and it's because this isn't a 9-to-5 job. I mean, we are saving lives, right? Indirectly. Then it should matter. Go on vacation, have fun, but my best people and the ones who do well with me are the ones that they also know that I would do whatever they ask me to do. That's how you have to be. And I think people respect you more if they know that you would. I think so. I'm lucky. I have great people.
Janet, this has been. Oh, go ahead. Did you have another question?
No, do you hire experienced people or do you bring people through? And the reason I'm asking this question, I'm trying to figure out the training regimen.
Mm-hmm.
And is this a Janet-driven training regiment, or is it people come from different places and they're already at kind of a place, they already know the job. Now I'm just going to get them to understand the culture and ethos and all that other stuff. So what type of people, I guess, career-wise, are you getting folks right out of college and kind of teaching them the game?
I love to have people that are like at another company. I had a group of lead recruiters and they were just out of school. They were hungry and they could get promoted from there. Well, then you fast forward to the middle of the pandemic and we had to be remote, even if I hadn't wanted to be remote. And we didn't have a training department. We do now, which makes me really happy. So in the beginning, we were hiring just people with experience.
Right.
Now we've been able to morph and hire some people that don't, but they're the right personality type. And that's really important to me because you don't know. You could have someone with 15 years of experience and that could be worse because they only know their way.
That's right. That's exactly right. That happens in sales too. I mean, shocking, not shocking, right?
Yeah.
It's the same type of thing. You get to a certain point and you're kind of rigid in your sales game, and it can work. Or in a lot of cases, I'll see it happen. They're really, really great in an enterprise sale, and they'll come to a startup, and they'll still think in that kind of enterprise mindset. It just doesn't work. It breaks almost every time I've seen it play out.
Not the same. Although I will just tell you that I did find coming from bigger companies, and then when I bought the first company, I was employee number 10. My email doesn't even have to have my last name back then. Okay.
Right.
And there was someone who was like, okay. And Ashley Simpson, who was the founder, who's the present, past, and future of this company, young woman. She's amazing. She, I'd say to her, we did how much this week? $20,000. What? But I was glad I came from a bigger company because what it taught me was sometimes think a little bigger than where you're at, be where you're at, but also be looking beyond to where you think you can be. And so that served me well. But to your point, yes, you have to be able to understand like where you're at currently.
Genius. Well, I think Ryan was about to close us out, and rightfully so. This has been amazing, Janet. Thank you so much for carving out time for us in the audience to know that you're crazy busy. Well, thank you.
Well,
it's all
glad you
it's all you.